I really embarrassed myself today because I was doing something for the first time, and I am so freaking proud of myself, and I felt called to record this video as a reminder that you need to be proud of yourself when you feel embarrassed for getting something wrong or looking stupid because you're doing something new in order to get better at it. This is how you grow, and sometimes growth has a lot of embarrassment. I have been living in Tulum for 3 months now, and I cannot tell you how many times I have literally been humiliated because I either didn't know something or I made a stupid mistake. But the thing is, I know that that is building me into someone who knows how to navigate Tulum, who knows how to get by, who knows how to resource herself, and is going to get better and better at it. So today I want to share with you the story of my latest embarrassment. So I recently bought a new scooter, and there are so many freaking mistakes that I've made. So I'm just going to share everything with you vulnerably, but I really just want to have you think throughout this whole video about how, instead of judging myself and shitting on myself and telling myself that I'm stupid, instead I am so proud of all these embarrassing moments because I know that this is, again, building me into someone who knows so much more, is wiser, is more resourced, is more resilient. So I bought a new scooter. And when I bought the scooter, they didn't have any inventory in the store. And so they said, we'll contact you when the scooter arrives. I was like, great, bought the scooter. A week later, they're like, hey, the scooter's here, come pick it up. So I was like, great, okay, went to pick up the scooter. And the thing is, technically, you really should try the scooter, like literally turn it on and drive it around when you buy the scooter, because you want to make sure that it's good, right? But the thing is, I didn't do that at the time. And I'm actually gonna come back to the end of the video about why I didn't do that at the time, because there's a really important lesson there. And again, there's a mistake in there, but I'm gonna share that at the end. So anyway, I didn't ride the scooter, which I'm gonna explain to you why. So I said, it's great. We signed the paperwork, everything, and they sent me on my merry way. And I finally got on the scooter and I rode the scooter home. And as I was riding the scooter, I noticed this really weird sound coming from the left. And it was this like kind of this rattling sound, and I was like, oh no, there's an issue with the scooter. Like, I have a warranty, so I can just go to the mechanic, it's not an issue. But I was like, damn, okay, I need to go to the mechanic. So finally yesterday I went to the mechanic. Turned out that they were busy because they had too much going on, so they're like, come back tomorrow at 10 a.m. So I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna come back at 10 a.m. And this whole time I was like, okay, like the part's gonna take so long to come, because I actually have another scooter and there was an issue with that one, and the part is taking a really long time to come, and I was really dreading this whole thing. So I finally went today, and the guy's like, okay, we'll take a look at the scooter. And he drove it around, he came back, and he was like, okay, the issue is really simple. There's this piece that is supposed to be tucked into the scooter, but because it's not tucked in and it's kind of just out like that, I guess it just got moved when it was being transported to me, it's hitting against what is the kickstand tucked in when you're driving it. So he's like, it's just like, that's the rattling sound. And so he literally just tucked the piece in, and he's like, see, now they're not touching, and now they're not gonna be hitting each other, so you don't have that rattling sound anymore. And the thing is, I felt so stupid because that is such a simple thing that probably a lot of other people who are maybe even basically familiar with scooters would have known about, right? And so I had done this whole thing where I had to go to the mechanic yesterday, and even before I went to the mechanic yesterday, the first time, I had this on my to-do list, and I was really dreading it, and it was just this whole thing, and it was this whole like cloud looming over me. I'm like, oh my god, there's gonna be a huge issue with the scooter, and I'm gonna have to wait, and I can't drive the scooter, and like all that stuff. You know, and then I had gone to the mechanic yesterday, and they were like, oh, you have to come back tomorrow, and then I came back today, and so it was this elongated thing. And obviously I wasted a lot of my time. I probably wasted their time, so I'm constantly coming back and saying, hey, okay, I'll be back, all that stuff, all for literally a movement that's literally like just tuck the scooter piece in, right? And for a second there, I was like almost spiraling into, I'm so stupid and how can I not know that? But then immediately as I was driving home on the scooter after they had fixed it, I decided, you know what? I'm not gonna judge myself, and I'm actually not embarrassed, because this is a really important mistake that I need to make in order to now know in the future to check those kinds of things and be more self-sufficient and be able to fix my scooter or fix these issues on my own in the future. And so this reminded me a lot of the fear that we have when we try something new, because we are scared to be embarrassed or we're scared to look dumb. And then also the embarrassment that comes with the manifestation of that very fear of looking dumb or feeling embarrassed. And so it really got me thinking about how when you are doing new things, and this has literally been the theme of my life in Tulum, is when you are doing new things, you're in a new environment, you're doing new activities, you're learning new things, you are going to make mistakes and you are going to look stupid and you are going to feel embarrassed. And that is literally part of growth. And as I was literally having breakfast just now, I was thinking to myself how feeling embarrassed is literally part of growth. And it is so uncomfortable, and so many people will not do new things or try new things or push themselves out of their comfort zone because they don't want to feel embarrassed. And I think that is such a big thing that holds a lot of people back. And so I really want to remind you that there's really no way then to just do the thing and risk the embarrassment, because the alternative is to not grow or to not experience it, and now to have to not be able to, do the next thing that you're going to be enabled to do after you get through that initial embarrassment. So I mentioned to you earlier that there was a reason why I didn't actually ride the scooter when I first bought it, and I'm embarrassed to admit it was because I didn't want to feel embarrassed, which actually makes no sense. Obviously, I should have just ridden the scooter and tested it before I drove off, and there's no chance for me to exchange it. Thankfully, the issue was actually not an issue. It was just this tiny little thing, like I told you, so I got really lucky. The universe was protecting me. But I'm looking back and I really, not regret, but it's just a reflective moment of I really should have just leaned into the embarrassment. And I'll explain to you specifically what the embarrassment is. I feel like I'm not someone who's really good with like cars and vehicles and scooters. This is all very new to me. And so I thought, who am I to try the scooter and ride it around? Like, am I even gonna pick up on an issue? Am I even gonna be able to see what's wrong with it? I felt embarrassed to pretend to be someone who knows potentially, who apparently knows vehicles, right? So it's really this fear of being judged, fear of being seen, fear of being seen to make a mistake or look dumb. And that actually massively held me back, because if I had brought that up when I had if I had ridden the scooter when I had bought it and brought it up to the people at the store, they would have literally been like, oh, the rattling sound is coming from this piece, we're just gonna tuck it in. And it would have saved so much of a nightmare for everyone involved. But because of my fear of feeling embarrassed, now I created this whole thing for myself that was honestly emotionally draining. Like I said, I was so worried about the scooter and I was delaying going to the mechanic, and then I went to the mechanic and wasted their time. And so I think something that I've learned through this experience is sometimes our fear of embarrassment is literally going to actually create more issues for us, and it's going to delay our growth and delay our progress. And so something that I want you to really think about is, where are you holding back because you're scared of looking dumb, because you're scared of feeling embarrassed, because you're scared of being judged, you're scared of being seen? And where is that holding you back from growing or progressing through the process of knowing more things so that you can just, I guess, like, feel less embarrassed, right? Because the sooner that you can feel embarrassed and do the thing and learn the thing, the sooner you're not going to make that mistake and you're going to progress to the next level, in my case, knowing more about scooters. And so I just thought this was a really interesting story that I wanted to tell you guys as a way to, again, remind you that embarrassment is part of growth. And now that I have shared this download with you that literally just flew into my head as I was literally eating my very random breakfast this morning and my leftover tortilla chips with guacamole, I can continue eating the rest of my breakfast. So let me know if you love this lesson. Let me know if this kind of got you thinking about past situations for yourself, and leave a comment, and I'd love to hear from you, and I will see you in the next one.